This week in the Spotlight, the Bulls are winding down in games, and Derrick Rose's health is always a question. We talked to the longtime public address announcer of the Bulls, Tommy Edwards, my former boss. Also this week, we go back to Jack's in Lansing and bring you a clip of a trivia game we did there not too long ago. And we flash back to 1993. Can you name that Blackhawk? Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 23rd year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You really got to get to the Dirty Sock. Benkowski Trivia will be there next Thursday, April 12th at 7:30 p.m. and again Wednesday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Eat, drink, and play. They have great pizza, too. The Dirty Sock. Want to get a haircut from a great hairstylist? Call mine, Rose Murillo, 312-726-2201. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Be safe with Sureway Insurance Company, 3312 North Milwaukee. Call my friend Jean at 773-282-2022. She has the answers on your auto, home, business, life coverage, including SR22 coverage drivers. Call Sureway Insurance.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I've been a skilled hairstylist for over 10 years. I specialize in men's haircuts and in corrective color. Come visit me at Salon 203 at 203 North LaSalle, 312-726-2201. And while you're at it, come in and get a shoe shine and a shave. It's a great place where a man can be a man. Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, or during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. We're back on the Spotlight. It's time to talk Bulls, and we're going to talk about the main man, Derrick Rose. We watched him intently before the Thursday game against the Celtics, and he was shooting many, many threes. I don't know, 100? And I'm going to say the guy made 75 to 80, and I'm not kidding. And he was mad every time he missed. He's a perfectionist. And so after his stint, where he worked up a pretty good sweat, we grabbed him, and here's that interview. Me and Derrick down by the baseline. Derrick, I was watching you shoot, and you're back to looking like 80%, knocking down those threes. You look like you feel pretty good.
I'm feeling all right. Just trying to get my rhythm back, just getting back in playing mode, being active again. It's something new. Just trying to keep things going.
Is it the fact that it's the Celtics that's pushing you toward getting in action today?
Not that. I've been out almost a month, so any game, I missed almost every game. Missed 20-some games this year, definitely hurt. But my health is my concern.
But you're 99% for today?
I really don't know. Game time decision. After I get my treatment, I'll figure out what I'm going to do.
I'm going to give you a history lesson. You might not remember this.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, in his, I think, second year, missed over 60 games.
Yeah.
But then he came back at the end of the year and had a 63-point playoff performance. So they held him back, and it seemed like a wise health move.
I guess so. When you got Michael Jordan on your team, I'm nothing like him. Hopefully I can catch a rhythm when I get back playing. I know it's going to be very hard, but I have my teammates behind me, have my coaching staff behind me, and everything's been going great.
What would be your biggest goal for the last 8 to 10 games here in terms of getting your team together and playoff ready?
I'm just finishing strong, just keeping things together. if you're a playoff team, you want to be playing very good basketball leading to the playoffs, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
Did you have any final thought on the NCAA tournament, how that went down?
Coach Cal won, and that's all I needed him to do is win. I'm happy for Coach, and I hope that he continue to have success while he's at Kentucky.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Stay healthy. Ironically, since that interview, you had Derek not play against Boston. Then he did play against the Knicks in New York. Then he did not play against the Knicks in Chicago. And the Bulls won 2 out of 3. Ironically, on top of that, they lost the game he played in, which is bizarre. But he's got to get the rust off in these last couple weeks, or else he will not be maximum effective in the playoffs, and his teammates will not be used to him. They've been playing all this time without him and getting their shots and establishing their offense. But you've got to get the blend together. This is key. We'll be back right after this. Since 1955, Rosangelas Pizza has been there for you at 95th and California, across from Little Company Mary Hospital. You can call them at 708-422-2041. Everything homemade, including the sauce. Great beef and meatball sandwiches, pasta, chicken, seafood, desserts. Dine in for lunch and dinner. Rosangelas, 95th and California. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Muncie, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years. Excellence. Top billiard tables. The place where the action is. Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster. Nuevo Leon, for the best Mexican cuisine since 1962. Serving every day from 7 a.m. to midnight, conveniently located 1515 West 18th Street, just a block east of Ashland in Chicago. Of course, they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a wide range of menu items. Everything from steak, seafood, to breakfast, to chicken, pork, dine-in, carry-out, tacos, enchiladas, everything you can imagine, and great quality at Nuevo Leon, 1515 West 18th. Bring your car to Quick Stop Muffler and Brake at 95th and Pulaski, and they'll fix it right. They also do shocks and struts, free estimates. Call them at 708-423-3700. They're very thorough in their work, and they have very competitive pricing. Quick Stop Muffler and Brake, 95th and Pulaski. We're back on the spotlight. It's time to talk Bulls, and a little bit behind the scenes is a really remarkable show that the Bulls have put on for many years. Going back to the championship Michael Jordan era, you might recall the elaborate music that they played at key parts of the game, and of course before the game, the Alan Parsons Project song that people know and love and associate with the Bulls. And another particular wacky hit, Gary Glitter and his version of Rock and Roll Part 2. Kind of an obscure 70s hit that came to fame at sporting events, starting with the Bulls. And the brains behind those songs, being part of the Bulls music at least, was longtime disc jockey Tommy Edwards. I got to know Tommy in the 80s when he was my boss at Q101, so it's still fun to see him as he's back behind the microphone here, where he's been off and on since the 70s doing the Bulls PA. We caught up with him and reminisced about some great moments. Tommy, tell me a few tidbits about this season that might compare to some of the extra great seasons you've done in the past, and also tell everybody when you started doing this.
Well, I guess it was, let me answer the second question first. I guess it was back in about 1976. I was working at WLS, and the general sales manager called me in and said, "You've been going to Bulls games, right?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan." He said, "They're looking for a public address announcer. Would you be interested in that?" And I went, "I'll go talk to him." So I went and across the street at that time, right there on Michigan Avenue, and I met with Mike McClure, and he offered me $25 a game. And I said, wait a minute. You want to pay me $25 a game to come to a Bulls game? I'll do it. You know, so I did that for a number of years, and and just had a ball back at the old barn, the old Chicago Stadium. This season has been really unusual because of the condensed season. You know, you look, and Pat, you know this, you look around the league, there have been a lot of injuries. Even the officiating is not as great as it normally is, and I think that has to do with the fact that these guys are exhausted as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So it's really been an unusual season, and of course the lockout was the reason it all happened. But now we're getting into crunch time, and now it's time for the teams that have the biggest and the deepest bench to emerge as the potential playoff victors.
I noticed Derek shooting a lot today, and I found that to be very encouraging. But when I asked him about playing today, he was always, it's a game-time decision.
Yeah.
He's very close to the vest, as the team is with him, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. Like the last game, we didn't know that Richard Hamilton was going to play until just literally 1 or 2 minutes before tip-off. And the scorekeeper came running by me and said Hamilton instead of Brewer. So I had to reorganize the starting lineup because I wanted to introduce him next to last before Carlos Boozer. So we'll see what happens tonight.
A little bit more about your career doing this. I remember there was a stretch of time, I think you went to Los Angeles for a job in radio. And see if I have this correct. Johnny Red Kerr was still alive, and he came out on the court, and he introduced the fact that you were going to be away, and then to tell the folks at home what happened after that.
Well, you know, Red goes out on the court, and he announces that tonight's the last night Tommy Edwards is going to be doing public address, because at that time I was joining CBS Radio and going to Boston. So I went to Boston for a couple of years, then I was transferred out to L.A. for like 10 or 12 years. But it was such an incredible evening, March 20th, 1990, I believe it was, because it was just a wonderful experience to go through it, and the crowd was incredible. They gave me a jersey, they gave me a watch, and after, you know, Ray Clay took over doing the public address during the championships, and then Steve Scott did it after Ray Clay left. And the Bulls were super nice to me. They sent me some mementos with O'Brien trophies on it, you know, a jewelry box and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just a real class organization.
No doubt about it. And then, amazingly, you know, you come back to Chicago radio, and then here you are doing this again. Tell us a little bit about the return, and then give a plug for your current radio situation.
Well, I came back to build a radio station, and Larry Luchak and I kind of teamed up together to do a morning show. And I guess I had been back for about 2 or 3 months, and I get a phone call from Steve Shainwald, and he said, "You're back?" "Yeah, I am." "And you don't call?" I said, "Well, I didn't know I was supposed to." He said, "What are you doing for lunch?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "We'll meet and have lunch." I said, "Okay." So at lunch, he said, "We really want you to come back and take over again." And I went, "Okay, great, sounds great." So that's what happened, and right now I'm doing some radio for CBS at WJMK. It's K-Hits 104.3. We're playing classic hits from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Songs you're very familiar with and probably have talked up a few 100,000 times. I'm hearing you. I'm going to use some radio jargon, the little that I know. But Tommy's hitting the posts, you know, like he did in the 70s, because he's playing the same records. How about that, though?
Yeah, I said, "How many times have you heard these songs?" I hear them in my sleep. Are you kidding? Wow.
Yeah, it's fun, but it is hard to describe the whole, I don't know, pageantry of a Bulls game. The production is so fantastic, and it's you know, people in other NBA cities try to emulate it.
Yeah, we have visitors from other teams that come in that just want to watch what we do, and they listen in on the headphones to hear the communications between the booth, the table, and the people that have got the wireless things that are running around doing stuff. So it's fascinating, and it really dates back to the old barn days, because when I introduced Rock and Roll Part 2 and when I introduced Sirius, the Alan Parsons Project for the intro, started getting telephone calls at home from all kinds of teams saying, "What was it you played at the game last night?" Because we want to use that here in Phoenix or Dallas, you know, and all that. And now all this stuff can be heard all around the league.
Well, I can safely say I got to know Nancy Faust quite well when she worked here and at the White Sox, and she was an innovator. And certainly what Tommy brings to the table with his innovations via the microphone and so much of the radio work sets this team apart. And as far as their presentations, pleasure seeing you again, Tommy. I hope it's a long playoff run.
Oh, thanks, Pat. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
And we'll be back with more on the Spotlight right after these important messages. Don't go away.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kelly's Tavern has Benkowski Trivia near Sox Park at 44th and Wallace on selected Friday nights. It's usually 2 Fridays a month. Come out and play, bring some friends, have fun, tip back a few at Kelly's Tavern, 44th and Wallace. Be looking for you. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years. Excellence. Top billiard tables. The place where the action is. Jukebox Billiards. 7910 Calumet in Munster. We're back on the Spotlight. We're at Jack's. We're in Lansing, Illinois on Ridge Road. And let's take away the game. This is trivia being played a couple of weeks back. To Good and Evil.
Sing it again, please.
Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought. 5 seconds. Going out of time. I think you're going to have to talk to the hand, or you're going to have to pay for any future answers. We go to a trivia team. I know how much you love the Beatles.
How much is it worth?
It is worth $70. 5 seconds. Going. So, sorry. We can work it out is correct. And Poop figured it out. And so Poop to 190. Nice play. You're close to the lead. And Smarty Pints, and they select. 6-word answer. Do you promise not to tell? Whoa, 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 closer. Do I do? Five seconds. I don't know about additional clues. Going. That's one of the lyrics, but not the title. We go to Brown Chicken, Brown Cow. Something about? 5 seconds. They're sending it to the home team. Home team. Going. Out of time. We go to Jukebox Hero. Yes. Straight in. It's good.
The answer, do you want to know a secret?
I want to be your lover, baby, like no other can. I want to be your lover, baby. And now I'll sing you the song.
You're a funny guy.
You never would have thought of it. 5 seconds. Going?
Can we throw?
Yes. All right, they're going to throw it. It's a 100 throw. Take your time. Don't hurt yourself. Oh, it almost came in off the railing, but not quite.
I Want to Be Your Man is correct.
That brings you to 200. And a unique thing about that song, Ringo Starr sang it for the Beatles. As a favor to the Stones, they let the Stones record it. It's the only song recorded by Ringo and Mick Jagger. Make a note of it. All right, because I probably told you. No. Well, maybe in a few months, but not today. All right. I think we got some baseball players left. Home team, here's your baseball. This Chicago player won back-to-back MVPs in baseball. Frank Thomas is right. Nice play.
We'll flash back to 1993, Hawks and Bulls next.
I eat on the pasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people, have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Ulsan, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous Grade of Cloth. Call 708-388-3700. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. Lanigan's Irish Pub is the place to be at 3119 West 111th Street, right by Kedzie. Live music on Sunday with Fast Eddie. Drink specials daily, including $1.50 domestic bottles on Thursday, $3 Guinness on Tuesday. Call for karaoke information on Friday. Party room, too. All that available at Lanigan's Irish Pub, 3119 West 111th Street on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Get there, Lanigan's Irish Pub. Lindy's Chili, Gertie's Ice Cream at 110th and Kedzie has it all. From fresh-made burgers, fries, hot dogs, chicken, turkey, Polish, shrimp, tuna, barbecue, ham, tamales, quesadillas. They've got salads and plenty of ice cream with sundaes, banana splits, and seasonal favorites. Get all these things at Lindy's Chili, which is where I start, but I always get a little something extra, at 110th and Kedzie. We're in the basement of the stadium where heavy-duty playoff action will be coming up in the next couple weeks, but not quite yet. We're going to start with a brief snippet on the Bulls. Of course, they wrap up their road trip now, and in the absolute home stretch of regular season games. Just before they left, we talked to a few people, like Scottie Pippen, who had some interesting thoughts about where the club was directed, and maybe this microscopic media view of the team and himself. Despite the big win over Detroit and Scottie's personal great game against Atlanta, Pippen's been under the microscope of late, and I talked to him about those kind of things in the stadium locker room.
Those are the kind of games that we need, where we can get out on a team and make them have to play uphill all night. And that's what we've been doing the last few games. We got to jump out where we can get teams climbing uphill, and now they got to conserve some energy to try to get back into the game. We don't want to coast through the game, but we want to get that nice cushion lead where we can maintain the tempo.
You know, it seems to me of late that there have been times where, and I guess the Phoenix game would be part of this, but other ones too, where your performance for some reason is in the microscope. You know, Michael has his points, and, you know, occasionally we'll have an off game, and that seems to be always forgiven. But whenever there's any problem in your game, it seems to be so ultra-analyzed. Have you thought about this, and is that a correct assessment?
Well, it's pretty much correct. I mean, that's the last 2 games. I know I haven't been playing up to my capabilities, and that's something that I'm going to just have to play through. Maybe I'm physically tired, but, it's hard to tell when you're physically tired because you have so much love and want for the game to go out and play that, you try not to let that be what's wrong. But I don't know what it is. I'm sure I'll be able to play myself through it.
What are the kind of things specific things that the Bulls need to do to go on the kind of run to put the conference away, home advantage?
Well, we need to put a string of games together for us wins. I have no problem with us going on the road playing. We've always been a good road team. That's probably where our strength is when we go on the road because we're able to go out and concentrate a little bit more. I feel very confident with us going on the road. I think we can come up and win some big games, and that's what we're going to have to do.
To wrap up, a couple of years ago, I remember you and Horace had a little free throw contest going down the stretch to kind of help each other through a struggle period that you were both having at the line. What about giving that a shot again? Who knows, maybe some funds for charity or something as a beneficiary, but to motivate each other.
Well, we're definitely going to do something. I mean, we're struggling right now from the line, and it's probably not only hurting us, but it's hurting the team. And to be out there in the crunch time of the game, you got to be able to make your foul shots. And it's just going to have to take a little bit more concentration and practice. But, I think we'll be fine with it.
To get a total overview of the way the team's playing right now, is there one particular area that you think the team needs a little bit work? Would it be, I'm going to guess and say, it would appear to be on the defensive end?
Well, your defense has to become your mainstay because in the playoffs, defense is what wins games. Your offense is a 50-50 thing. It comes and goes. But if you're strong defensively, you can stop the other team from scoring, and then they can kind of give yourself a chance to win the ball game.
As you look ahead to the final 8 games or so, what do you see about the attitude on your club as far as keeping the Knicks off and winning the Eastern home advantage?
Well, we're just trying to be playing the best basketball that we possibly can play. We're not too much worried about what the Knicks are doing. The most important thing for the Bulls is to be playing the best basketball that we can play, just take care of ourselves.
And about Trent Tucker off the court, at a recent charitable function we did together for the Sertoma Career Center in Alsip, Illinois, Trent gave up his shoes, personal tickets, and other effects to help us raise more than $24,000 for the handicapped. Trent Tucker, a special guy. Jeremy Roenick used to say I could be critical at times.
I guess.
This is played you pretty tough this year. Is this a credit to them or?
Of course, they're a hard-working team. They have a lot of spunk. They have a lot of pride. A lot of them have a second chance in the NHL, and they're making use of it. Some of them even third chances. So, they're trying to make the best of it, and they're working hard.
Part of the way your club has been analyzed recently going into the playoffs is probably a byproduct of being a Stanley Cup finalist. I would think you guys would be accustomed to the pressure that goes along with that by now.
Yeah, we should, but we shouldn't have to worry about that kind of pressure. We have to make sure we just worry about playing our own game and working hard and trying to scrounge out every point possible. And we've let a couple of games go, but it's something we have to learn from, and better now than in the playoffs.
This week's show brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop.
Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero.
Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.